It's deadline day, baby. And as we can see, Rich is not very happy.
Look, we still got 58 minutes to go. So I'll wait till 11 o'clock to, yeah. It's not looking good. We got a guest in the back though, JC. We have got a guest in the back. Welcome, Delil from Parisian Londoner.
Hi guys,
how you doing?
Good.
No.
I'm all right, you know. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You know what? We might as well, whilst you're here, so that we don't take up too much of your time, we might as well kick it off with this Hugo Ekitike transfer merry-go-round and saga, because for you guys, it seems like he's messed you about as well, you know. But you've got your target in Kolomwani.
Yeah.
But I believe, just based on rumors, that the hope was for you to send him to Frankfurt in order to get some sort of like money back. And at the time, it was like, oh, if Ekitike doesn't go to Frankfurt, then you may not get Moani. How are you feeling right now about everything?
First, to be honest, I think that as a player, I would understand his position because he wants to manage. Maybe he wants to manage his career as he wants, and maybe he doesn't want to go to Frankfurt. To be honest, so I would have understood if Colomani would not have joined us because he didn't want to go to Frankfurt. But if you see the team at the moment, I don't think that he's going to play a lot this year, so it could have been a good opportunity for him, maybe to get some time to play.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why we were looking at a loan, you know, with an option to buy, because obviously if it worked out well for us, we'll sign him on a permanent contract. But don't you feel like he's going to run the risk of not playing any football next year? Because clearly you guys don't want him now.
I think it's a risk for him, but maybe maybe he knows that at the moment, but he always say that he want to play for PSG and wants I don't know how to say it in English, sorry, but he wants his place in the team. So maybe he can fight. It will be very hard because we have paid Gonzalo Ramos a lot of money, and now Colomani is a friend of Mbappe, so I think he's going to play a lot. And Ramos is going to be the number 2, so he will be number 3 on the list. Yeah, let's say, but I think he will not be playing a lot.
Sure. Let's just say hypothetically that we pull some sort of magic and he does sign for us. What do you think he'll offer a club like Crystal Palace?
What he can offer to you as Crystal Palace fan?
Yeah, like what's his playing style like? Yeah.
I think, to be honest, that he is very talented because 2 years ago, when he was a Reims player, he scored 11 goals in 25 games, I think, and then he joined us, but he was not in a very good condition to be a very good player. Or I think he has a small talent, and the most dangerous step for him, it will be the intensity, because there is not a lot of intensity in Ligue 1. So I think if he joins you, you will have to get used to the intensity of the Premier League games. But he has a lot to offer, I think. He's very talented, and the fact that he's a tall player is very technical too. So yeah, I think he has a lot to bring to you.
Why didn't you keep him then? Why do you
Sorry?
think he? Why do you think he wants to move then?
Because he wants to play, because he's still young, and I think at 21, if you don't play a lot, you will miss something. Maybe I think he already has a lot of money, so I don't think money is the most important for him. But yeah, I think he needs to play. He needs time and to improve his skills and to make his career.
That's understandable. That's understandable. I guess whilst you're here, let's talk about Colomboani. How excited are you for this signing? And in fact, talk about PSG's transfer signings in general.
Yeah, so just to be honest, as a PAG fan, and I also live in Paris, like I said, with Paris and London are members, finally the team is looking. I don't know how to say it in English, but the team looks like the city and the fans. For years, we had players who don't really understand us, who we don't understand our mentality, and now on the pitch, the players look like the fan and the city, because Paris is not only the fashion week. I mean, we have a lot in Paris, and for the first time since QT arrived, I'm finally satisfied of the transfer markets.
Fair dues, fair dues. JC, what's your thoughts on this Ekatike news? And
I mean, the name sounds good because obviously it's a PSG player. Last time we bought a player from PSG, it was Johan Kabay, and we saw how good that turned out. But you know, with Ekatike, since he's come into PSG, he's never really got time to show his skills. So it's in sort of a roundabout way, he's sort of had 2 years off of playing competitive football, really, ever since they bought him from Reims. So, if you would have said to me we're buying the player from Reims straight away, I think that the price tag is probably warranted, isn't it? What was he, a 19-year-old that scored double digits in the French league? Tall guy, probably a striker that fits the kind of profile of Palace, where we like a big man up front that's also pretty technical with the ball and can score goals. So I say that price tag probably warrants. But because he hasn't played for 2 years, it's probably a little bit less feasible, really, because we don't know if he's going to be that good. We have got a lot of French players in our team and French-speaking players, so he should settle in pretty well if he was to come. But my fear is that we're not buying that player that we can see in all those highlight reels and like how he has been playing before. He's not going to be that same kind of player. So obviously, any forward option coming in is going to be a massive help to us because we've lost Sahar. We've only got 2 strikers in Edouard and Mateta. I know that Mateta scored a hat-trick, and obviously it's nothing to scoff at, but still, that's he scored more in that one game against a championship team than he did all of last season. We know this guy is so unreliable when scoring goals. We need a reliable goal scorer. So,
oh, this hurts so much.
It's the name. As I said, the name sounds good, but I don't think the price is warranted for someone that hasn't played for 2 years.
Sorry, what's the price of it?
It's about 30 million euros, and I think that's too much, man. Especially for a club like us, where we don't have money. We
don't have money like that.
Like right now, as it stands, we are the lowest spending club in the whole Premier League. We've spent 20, what? Or how much was Henderson? Like 20 million.
So 15, it'll be 20. It depends on the add-ons.
Okay, so 15, so 30 million because França was 15 as well plus add-ons.
Yeah.
So we spent 30 million in this window.
And Holding.
Well, that's not. Well, it's not confirmed, so
yeah, okay,
I'm not. And even if it is confirmed, that's what 3 million, 4 million. It's nothing. So 30 million pounds in this window, where Luton Town, who are probably the brokest club in the Premier League and the Championship, have spent 40 million. You're thinking, like, We have if we put all of our owners' net worth together, we probably have one of the top 8 richest owners in the whole Premier League. But we're spending what we're spending. It just baffles me. But I said it to you, Rich, on the phone earlier, and I'll say it again. I'm not surprised. This is how we do our transfer business. We do nothing up until deadline day, and then we're all disappointed that we haven't done nothing on deadline day because you can't get a good deal on deadline day.
So guys, if I understand, if Ekitike joins Palace, he will be the star of the team, or no? He will be the main player.
He'll be the main guy up front. But
he'll be our striker.
He won't be the star because I think that'll be Eze or Elise, because those guys are unreal. But he will definitely be next up. Like, he will be that guy that we all look to score the goals. So he'll come in with a huge reputation to live up to.
Because
and also,
yeah,
I was just saying, also a huge weight on the shoulders because we're crying out for a 10 to 15 goal striker.
Okay, because I think he learned a lot in Paris about how to manage the status, because when he arrived, he was a 19-year-old guy with a lot of money, so he went to clubs in Paris, and some pictures start to appear on the social network. So I think he learned a lot, and I think he could be ready to be one of the stars of a team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can.
We'll have to wait and see now. We'll have to wait and see. JC, take us through some comments. No.
Let's go through some comments. So Dalil is in the comments talking to people. So big up Santi, big up Rob, big up the chairman. Binge Thinker, has Colomani's move gone through yet? Wonder if there's something bearing on it. It's no good to see PSG Eki Benteke sitting on the very hard to sign a foreign player in the last few hours. Yeah, because they got to fly over and then do the medical, and it's long because medicals ain't quick these days, man. So probably if he ain't doing the medical, started 20 minutes ago, it's not getting done. Keeping Elise and Eze is good, but it's not addressing the problems that are in the team. So if you look at it on face value, that we've got these players still at the club, it looks like a good window from an outsider. But we know on the inside that there's more glaring issues like fullback, replacing Zaha, and a striker. So even though Elise is great to put him on a new contract, you probably would want some money to go elsewhere as well. Typical trash window. It was competitive with Ekitike having to compete with these guys. He's never getting a game, is he, Rich? Never.
Not for
real. Luke saying Ekitike needs to happen. A very average window. It all hangs on France's shoulders. Definitely. We don't even have a reporter at Palace, so that just shows Bridgie ain't even there, and Bridgie's normally there. Vibes and Yardman JC, as always. The flag is there. Shane Palace isn't important team in the Premier League. I wouldn't say we're not important. I just say that we haven't really done much in our whole time of being in the league. If we have we don't have no cash. And finally, Dexter is that actually Dexter, or someone actually just screenshotted something from Henry? Because that is incredible.
Let's hope it is actually him still.
Big up Niall. So what I'd done was I spent some time making a little spreadsheet. So Dan would be happy if he was around, but he's not. So I thought I'd make I'd put a formation in Excel and put all of our players which are in the first team or around the first team, and I give them all colors. So if green is first team quality, yellow is they're not first team quality, but they're on the bench, like they're good enough to come on and do a job, and red is just they are not good enough. And I've gone off the very basic thing of you probably need about 3 players per position. Would you guys agree? Rich, would you agree that you need 3 players per position, roughly?
Yeah, in this day and age now, because obviously you need a big squad. To be fair, I would say, especially midfield, you maybe like more than other areas.
So here's what I've done. So I've gone through our team, and our strongest area is the goalkeeper, and we all knew that because we got Henderson. Notice how I haven't put Remy Matthews here because he would have been a red straight away. But there's a lot of reds everywhere. So if we look at our left back situation, I'm just going to be repeating what I've said for so long. We need fullbacks, and this shows it so clearly. You've got Mitchell, and that's it. I put Gyro there because he can play there, but Gyro's also in defensive midfielder. He can play there, but he's still red because he's just not good enough. Obviously, you see, there's 3 spots missing. Left back, you're missing a player. Centre back, you're missing a player. Other centre back, you're missing a player. Obviously, that could be Rob Holding instead of Tompkins, but Holding's still probably only a yellow. He's not a green. Right back is our weakest because Ferguson is just a walk-in sick note, and Wardy and Klein are just an injury waiting to happen. Left defensive mid is probably one of our better areas as well, with Lerma, Hughes, and Schlupp. Because if Schlupp plays in the middle, he's okay. Hughesy injury is a bit mad, but we can get over it. Other DM is mad, Decore, and that's it. That's crazy.
Guys, to be honest, if you need a left back, we have Kurzawa to sell. I don't understand.
Weren't we linked with him a couple windows ago under Vieira?
In January, we were.
Yeah. He was supposed to leave for Juventus, but I didn't. It collapsed. So yeah, we have Kurzawa if you want.
What are his wages like?
Sorry?
What are his wages like? Now, how much does he get paid a week?
A week? I think he's earning by, I think it's 6 million a year.
That's over 100 grand a week.
Yeah, we ain't got that sort of money. Not now we signed Henderson.
He's paid, to be honest, he's paid too much for
yeah, so we can't do that. In attacking mid, you got Eze, probably our best player, with Ahamada as a yellow, but we haven't got that third player. I could put Raymond in there, but he's still a red. Unfortunately, he's too young. Left wing, Ayu is our only green. I've got França as a yellow because he's a very unknown quantity. We don't know what he'll do in the Premier League. And I got Schlupp there because I wanted to put him in a red. I couldn't. He's okay in midfield, but I needed to put him in a red somehow. Right wing, Elise, Ayu, Jez, and Ebue, because I forgot Ebue existed, if I'm honest, when I was doing this. No, I'm sure he's injured. And up front,
he started for the Ebue started for the under-21s today.
That's where they lost. Lost
3-2 to Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
They've not started the season well.
No, the 18s and the 23s are killing it. It's just the 21s which are struggling a little bit. But Rich, looking at this, where do you think the places is that we should have strengthened? Not where we have strengthened, where we should have strengthened.
Right. Look, the obvious ones were fullbacks, which I think we knew very early on we're not addressing that area. Especially after the whole Lewis Hall debacle. It was like, yeah, that's a goner. But it was definitely, for me, left wing and striker. Because knowing that France is injured, we needed to get experience cover anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then up top, I mean, this is us based on the fact that Mateto's going to go.
I mean,
and even if he wasn't
France could go in here as well.
Yeah, even if Mateto isn't going, we still need better. Like, I can't believe we've literally said we're not going to chase Iheanacho anymore because we wanted to get Ekitike in on loan, and PSG have just said, "No, screw you." Like we've got no backup plan. I mean, we've got how long left? Just over half an hour to go.
I think the biggest L about it is the fact that Leicester gave us the option to buy for 18 million, but we were too stingy to pay the extra 3 million. But we're paying that £3 million for a centre back that we probably don't really need if Richards is here. Granted, Tompkins ain't good enough, but how many games a season is he going to play? We don't go very deep in the cups. So is he really going to be doing very much?
That 4 million, we could even got that Sinistera loan.
And the fact that we've turned down this Iheanacho, who's proven in the Premier League, might I add, he's been playing every season, unlike Ekitike. And also that the second we started focusing our efforts elsewhere, Bournemouth have now come in for Patson Daka. And if Patson Daka goes, they're definitely not selling Kelechi. So what now? Bournemouth are going to get Sinistera and Daka in deadline day.
And they already have Semenyo, they have Solanke, Scott.
But guys, do you have money to sign Ekitike? I mean, because he's earning a lot in Paris.
We don't. That's the thing. I'm just confused in why we're even looking at him. We don't have the money. That's why it's a loan to buy. But the wages are mad as well.
It's a massive waste of time.
I haven't seen his contract, but people say that he's earning 600,000 euros a month. So maybe.
I know, baby, but that's why you do it in the morning.
So maybe 150,000 by a week.
The thing is we've so Zaha's left us, and basically we're going to use all of Zaha's wages that we would have saved and saved a lot of money, and then maybe bought someone in January with that money. But now we're just going to waste it all on Ekitike when we could have got Iheanacho in. That will probably, I think he's only on 50 now. You can match that, maybe add 10 grand. That's 60. You're probably getting an all-round better player for Iheanacho for less money and less wages as well. So it just baffles me. And this is a great question. Rich, you answer this for me. Because if I answer it, I'm going to be ranting for 5 minutes.
I keep saying this, and this is no slander of Roy Hodgson, because you know what? I even feel sorry for Roy Hodgson. Like, every window he doesn't get backed. But we cannot underestimate, and don't get me wrong, Vieira rightfully sacked, right? But we cannot underestimate the pull that Patrick Vieira had. Players wanted to play for Patrick Vieira. I'm not too sure they're going, oh, snap, Roy Hodgson. You know what I mean? Like I said, once again, I want to repeat it. Vieira deserved to be sacked based on performances and what he did with Eze. You know, and Roy's done a good job since he's come in. We're not an attractive club because we don't act like an attractive club. We should go out there and just puff out our chest and say, listen, we want this player. Boom, come to London and sell it like a project. Worry about the finances later. But we've got to spend too much time with infighting amongst our owners. Yes. And we're always trying to penny pinch. Like, I think what's driven me mad, and I don't know how true this is, but Carl had put on an Instagram or a tweet that because we were so focused on this Ekitike deal, that we stopped wanting to go for Sinistera. It's like, why can't we do both? It's crazy. I don't know.
I think it shows that we've got a one-man team, isn't it? It's Dougie and that's it. We need a bigger scouting network. If Dougie's our only scout that really does his job or gets the deals over the line, we need to do better. We need to have more people like Dougie, but we don't. We've got one. Granted, the work he does is brilliant, but he's one guy. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just hoping that in the next 34 minutes, something left field happens. Because I will deal with us getting a striker if it means that for the meantime, Eddie has to just play on the left. I can deal with that. Because I think other areas, minus the fullbacks, which I've accepted, we've done okay. I think we've covered those areas okay. If we can get a striker in, I think I'll be like, all right, cool, it is what it is. If we don't get a striker in, or even a winger.
But I don't think a striker is your priority. So I think you need left back and a centre back before striker. Because when you look at the team, you put on the screen, the left back is. Sorry, my English is not
No,
perfect.
that's right. With the Reds, you mean?
Yeah. You only have one player as a left back and 3 players
Yeah, we don't have a single green at right back.
So
yeah.
I think what we're and with that, you're totally right. We've been calling, and especially JC, been talking about getting fullbacks for years. So this is like going on 5 years now that we've needed fullbacks. But even at the start of this window, I think with because we re-signed both Klein and Ward, that told me already we're not looking at right back especially. So my thing is we've had there's 40 days of the window. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure it starts like mid.
Well, there was 13 episodes of Transfer Weekly, so 13 weeks.
So that's 7x12, which is this is my teaching mode's gone all off. 784. So you're looking at
91 days.
91 days. You're looking at 91 days. 3 months. 3 months. And we can't get a striker in. Or a winger. Bear in mind, Callum Hudson-Odoi has just gone for 3 million. Talk all you want about his wages and what. We potentially are spending 4 million on holding. Just put that in perspective. Sinistera, like I said, going on loan, not even signing, on loan to Bournemouth, having his medical as we speak, I believe. So we can't say there's no one out there. It's just we're not anyway.
Yeah, obviously I don't. Obviously, it's already a bad day, and speaking about this is going to make it worse. But it's just putting stuff into context. We're fighting to try and get people like Rob Holding to come to Crystal Palace, whereas Brighton have just got Ansu Fati on loan. They've been in the Premier League for less time than us. They came up with less money than us. They're in Europe, and they're probably one of the best teams in the whole Premier League right now. They're definitely top 6, top 8. And where are we? Still fighting to even stay in the league. That's how you move like an attractive club. You can attract players like that. And to be fair, if we've got Eze and Elise, Mark and Anderson and Decore in our team, you look at that and go, that looks like an attractive team. However, when you realise that everyone else, other than who I've just listed, is dreadful, you don't want to come to that project because you know that they're gonna cheap out on every single one of those other signings.
Absolutely. I just wanted to bring this comment up from Binge. And yeah, no, this is what I was explaining. Like, Roy's done an excellent job. And you know what? I didn't actually mention the what do you call it? The management of players. That aspect, it shouldn't be underrated. I get that. So you're spot on here and saying what he's done with Eze. That is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But yeah.
Obviously, deadline day isn't a fully Palace day because, you know, I don't think we're going to do anything because I'm sitting here refreshing, hoping for stuff to come out, and nothing's happening basically. But there is a website which has got all of the incomings and outgoings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for each club, talk about the incomings, only the incomings, because if we go in and out, it's going to take too long. So start off with Arsenal. So you got David Raya, you got Kai Havertz, you got Declan Rice, and you got Timber. Well,
that Timber injury's killed him, you know.
Completely. But what would we say about that window? Like let's forget that Timber's injured now. How is that window? It's 4 players in. but I think it's 4 quality players.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's see. Oh, you know, yeah, no, you know, Dilo, seriously, thank you for your time, man.
Thank you
Seriously,
thank you for your time.
we were hoping for some good news about Ekitike, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So there's no point of holding you
To
hostage.
be honest, I don't think so, but let's see what can happen in half an hour. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Honestly,
Yeah. Thank you for coming on there and talking
thank you for
about
coming
it.
on, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And before we go, just big up to Parisian London. Like, please, guys, go check them
Thank
out. Instagram, YouTube, the work they're doing,
you,
amazing
guys.
stuff, man. So, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
guys.
very much for coming, man.
See you, bye.
Take
Thanks.
care. Man, yeah. So going back to, I think Arsenal did very good business at the start, and then I think where Arsenal fans are kind of a bit frustrated is that when the injuries started coming in, they didn't then go and try and address it again. Like, so, for example, Timber got injured, and then they let Tierney go. So those sort of things that they're quite frustrated about, you know. Kostinchenko, he's kind of getting like these little niggles and stuff. So, but all in all, I think the Havertz ones, that's weird. I didn't get it, but Arteta has a plan for him. So, you know what?
In my opinion, I think it's a waste of money, man. I think Smith Rowe does what Havertz does and more.
Mm.
And he's a young guy as well, so
And apparently Smith Rowe's out of favour as well, completely.
that could have been a loan for us.
You know what? The only thing that's given me a little, and I just thought about this now, little glimmer of the loan deadline doesn't end for another week or something. Sometimes I think the loan one's a bit different. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but
I'm sure that the whole deadline is 11 o'clock, but I know that you can get free transfers whenever you want, though. So out of 10, what are we giving Arsenal out of 10?
That's so difficult because they're the first club you've mentioned. Because I'm trying to think like Bournemouth.
I give them a 7 for the fact that they've got in great
7.
players, but then they've let players go at really bad times and not addressed their issues.
7 sounds fair.
Obviously, we're not going to talk about it much, but Balogun's gone to Monaco, Tierney to Sociedad, Matt Turner's gone to Forest, Xhaka's gone to Leverkusen, and I don't really recognise any other of these players. Next up is probably one of the ones I'm probably going to rate a little bit higher, is Aston Villa. Pau Torres, Moussa Diaby, Yuri Telemans, Zaniolo, and Lenglet on loan.
Oh, hold on. It seems that Matson's staying at Chelsea. Because there was that rumour that like Burnley had bid 31 million for him or something. Looks like he's staying. Same with Cucurella. Oh, so read those names again. Was this Villa?
Villa.
Oh, they've been good.
Pau Torres, Moussa Diaby, Yuri Telemans, Zaniolo, and Lenglet on loan.
Yeah, with what they and they've addressed the Mings injury, like bang, they addressed it straight away. I'll give that an 8 for now. It might change in a minute because I've got to match up. Like I said, Bournemouth, Forest. There are other clubs I'm thinking, who am I going to give the highest mark to?
Yeah, so out are Cameron Archer to Sheffield United for 18 million, which I'm surprised that we weren't even looking at him. And that's it, really. Next up is Bournemouth, and this is probably one of the best ones in my opinion. Alex Scott, Max Aarons, Romain Favre, Justin Kluivert, Hamid Traore, Milos Kerkez.
1 second. Sorry. Daka to Bournemouth is off.
Is off?
Yeah, according to Romano.
All right. Where was I? Traore, Kerkez, Radu, and Tyler Adams. That is a window.
Yeah, that's an. And don't forget Sinisterra maybe added to that as well.
That is a 88 million pound window that they've just had.
And how many players did they sign?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 at 88 million. So each player, let's just say, averaging 11 million, and we can't find like 2 players that we need for that price. Those prices. Anyway, this is gonna get me.
What's your rating, mate? I'm giving it a 9.
It's a 9, yeah.
It's,
If they get Sinister in as well, give them
it's
a
a
10.
10. Yeah. Bournemouth cooked in this season, man. Obviously, Jordan Zamora went to Udinese for free. Jefferson Lerma came to us for free. That's about it. On to Brentford now. Nathan Collins, Romeo Beckham, Mark Flecken, who's been great, by the way, so far. Jisoo Kim, Shada, and that's it. What do you think? I think it's okay.
It's
I think
not, yeah.
20 million for Shada is a bit much, but you know,
It's just okay.
it's okay. It's a solid 6.
Solid 6, yeah.
But the thing is we're not Brentford fans. That's probably addressed all their problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it a solid 6. And bear in mind, once again, they're kind of like having to navigate without Ivan Toney as well. So
Yeah. No one leaving that's really out there apart from David RHEA, but we've already spoken about him. Here we go. Brighton. Carlos Belba, I'm guessing that is the Caicedo replacement. Van Bruggen. Dahoud, who they bought from Dortmund. Giulino, who they bought from Fiorentina. Yao Pedro. James Milner for free, which is probably a bit of an underrated signing. Jacob Slater, who's probably one of their youth academy. Noel Atom, who is from RB Leipzig that they bought for free. And finally, Ansu Fati on loan from Barcelona.
considering how they the way that they're run, that's a 9. Just doing. I mean, maybe an 8. I'm trying to think if they needed any centre backs.
Well, I'm gonna say that, in my opinion, I'd probably say this is a 10 for the fact that they got 35 million for McAllister, 25 for Sanchez, and 115 for Caicedo. I know that I said we're just talking about the ins, but I think the outs make it more so good. They got so much money off all those players, and it's not warranted whatsoever, but they've done it. I'm definitely sounding salty. I don't care, but it's true. That's a 10 window if you talk about the ins and the outs.
Yeah, but if it's just the ins,
if it's just the ins, I'd say it's an 8.
Yeah, I was going to say 8 as well. But overall, the window's definitely a 10. Overall, yeah, 100%. Brilliant window.
Jesus, Burnley have bought so many players. I'm gonna go off the probably more well-known ones. Masengo from Bristol. Can't pronounce that, so I'm not gonna try. James Trafford, who's been really good.
Yeah, he's a goalkeeper, isn't he?
Michael Obafemi, who was on loan last season, but they made it permanent now. Nathan Redmond, that could have been a good signing for a year for us. Sander Berg and Aaron Ramsey. I'm surprised about Aaron Ramsey because he was a good player for Villa. But I guess he's not every kind of guy now.
Yeah, that one has surprised me, actually. I mean, Villa have let quite a few of their brighter talents go, which is a surprise. I mean, I guess, especially with the Archer one, they've got that, is it a buyback clause on it?
Yeah.
So that works out a bit. Anyway, but yeah, 7 for Burnley.
Chelsea. I'm gonna be sitting here forever talking about Chelsea. Okay, Axel Diassi from Monaco, Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal, Christopher Nkunku from RB Leipzig. I don't even know who Kendry Payaz is, but they've spent £17.5 million on him. Robert Sanchez, Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Cole Palmer. Wait, like I don't know who David Washington is, but they spent 20 million on him. Petrovic, don't know who he is either, 15 million. Yeah, that's. I know that they've got so much money, but you can't. I don't know what to give them because they still look terrible.
Yeah, I'm not rating their window at all.
It's my man like Tom Bowley. Yeah, man played like he played FIFA career mode and put the £1 billion financial takeover and just started buying bare players with bare potential.
Did you mention Cole Palmer as well?
Yep.
Oh.
Was it 42.5 million?
Yeah, he's a good player though. I mean, the valuation's wild. Like,
remember, he's played. I think he's played less than 30 Premier League games.
Yeah.
Ah, chairman, you shouldn't have done that. I'm fuming about this. I'm absolutely fuming. Rich, how many years have I been talking about this guy? How many years?
Bro, we don't have 32 million.
Bro, when I started talking about him, he weren't worth no 32 million.
Man, the sad news, Al-Fayed has passed away. Oh, man, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man, that's a shame. I hope they do something nice for him at the next home game.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Well, we rate in Chelsea. I'm giving it a -1 because they've just got too much money, and I don't care. Fun Chelsea.
Go on, I'll second that because they lost out on the Elise and the way they were puffing their chest.
Hold that. Hold that. Anyway. I was just scrolling through Chelsea's outgoings, and obviously the Kante's gone to Saudi, and Aubameyang's gone, and that's gone. But I saw Xavier Simmons to Hull. I was thinking, what? But that's not Xavi.
Not Xavi Simmons.
Yeah. Next up is Crystal Palace. Lerma in for free. France are in for 26 million, it says here, but we know that's false. And Dean Henderson in for 20. It's a L. It's a free.
Nothing more than a 3.
France is an unknown, so we have no idea. 20 million on Henderson we could have used that money. 10 million on the left back, 10 million on the right back. That would have been much better use of the money. But he's a Palace player, so we have to back him now.
100%.
Obviously, I'm all for it. If he becomes an incredible goalkeeper, we can maybe sell him on for a huge profit because he's still youngish. But I feel like that's getting in the way of John Stones' career. And for what John Stones done for us in a short time, I think it'll be hard to not keep him in the starting lineup. Obviously, we've had a hell of a lot of outgoings. So only 3 coming in, but we've had a lot of outgoings. They are obviously either released or retired players. But Rob Street, gone. Jack Butland to Rangers. MacArthur retired. Luca to Turkey, I believe. Kofi Balmer on loan. Boateng on loan. Owen Goodman, who's having a great time, by the way, at Colchester. Zaha for free. Killian Phillips loan. Reece Hannan gone. Plange loan. David Boateng gone. Ryan Bartley gone. Omelabu gone. Dan Quick gone. JKG on loan, and probably the one that hurts the most is O'Brien for £1 million when we could have just kept him and not bought Holding. Just saying. Before we keep going on, I'm going straight on to Everton. Ashley Young, Dan Juma, Youssef Chamiti, Jack Harrison on loan, which is incredible, and Beto for 25 mil.
I'm not gonna lie, Benj. I need a laugh at the moment. We are 13 minutes away to going back into this new season with Mateta and Edward up top.
Yeah. And no proper left winger.
And Jeffrey Slop at left wing. Big up, Jamie.
We got Jamie, and we are not good.
I mean, Gravenberch for you guys, decent signing to be fair. He hasn't addressed the DM, but because he's a decent 8, but at least you're getting players in. You've changed your whole midfield now, so yeah. And just drop us into the chat. Would you actually sell Salah for 200 mil? Would you do it, or would you wait another year?
I think it'd be stupid not to take it.
It's very difficult. It's like that risk reward sort of factor because he will get them European football guaranteed.
Well, the thing is let's say they sell him for 200 mils, yeah. Remember what Liverpool done when they sold Coutinho for 75? They found Salah with that money.
Yeah.
So if they've got double that money, then they could probably buy another Salah. I'm not saying that there is another Salah out there, but they have the funds to go and like strengthen the whole team rather than just replacing one guy.
I believe. Oh, okay. This ain't too bad. I feel a little bit better now hearing this from Ornstein. Rob Holding has joined Crystal Palace from Arsenal in a permanent deal, paying Arsenal 1 million plus 2.5 add-ons. I feel a little bit better now.
Yeah, but it's still the same price as O'Brien, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, I thought we just went and just thrown through 4 million out there. I was thinking, right, that could have got something else. So it's a bit better than, and he's eligible for Sunday as well. Something tells me Rich is now 5th choice centre back. Just saying that.
Oh man. What are we saying for Everton? I'm giving them a 6 again.
Who did they sign? Sorry, Beto Young,
Ashley Young, Dan Juma, Chamiti,
yeah,
Jack Harrison on loan, and Beto. Actually, no, it's a 7. Jack Harrison is a baller.
I forgot to done as well. You know, they've actually quietly done their business, all right. Actually,
yeah, 7 or 8.
No, I still say a 6 though. I can't match them with like the Villas and that.
Mm-mm.
So
Fulham, Jimenez, Bassi, Adama Traore for 3, and Castagna. That's a solid window.
I don't know.
It's not.
They would have. Yeah, that's the thing. I would have thought they would have wanted to kick on from because they finished decent last season, and I don't think they've really signed that many.
It's 5. They've done. They've signed downgrades. They lost Mitrovic and got Jimenez. So it's not really. I in my opinion, I've watched Calvin Bassey a few times, and I think he's dreadful. So spending 20 million on him is a bit crazy. And also, Castagna for 15 is a really good deal. But they probably could have got him for a little bit left.
Yeah, but he's a good player. So and look, another fullback.
Yeah. Nate.
I'll go for 5 for Fulham.
All right, Nate here said, by taking this club to the next level, Steve Parish made 2023. The insect ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so tempted to upload that clip, you know.
Rihanna sent this to me, and I thought it was funny. And she said, this should be eagle-eyed football if they see Parish at fan cams after the Wolves game.
That man is a total prick. And you know what I see him? Smack! Right the ear hole. And I mean that.
That is funny, actually. Oh, let me see if I can. me see if I could keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can upload because we've still got 8 minutes.
Cosmo saying thoughts on Ekatike Saga. Well, we had a rant about it and we spoke to a PSG fan not long ago. So if you want to go and have a look at that, please rewind in the stream. But giving you what we think, it ain't happening. They want too much money. Apparently, the deal's already is like done a dodgy way. So PSG are definitely going to say we ain't giving you any favors. So Ekatike has probably fumbled his own bag at PSG as well. Yeah. Ain't happening. Too much money. Too much risk. Palace are broke.
We wasted too much time going for him.
Yeah, we wasted too much time going for him. We're not even going for Iheanacho, who's probably the better option in the first place. So yeah, and Crystal Palace.
Let Sinistero go as well. So yeah, cheers.
Crystal Palace, the club that fumbles things that they haven't even fumbled yet.
Big up Cosmic, by the way. Sorry, we're just not in the first minutes.
Yeah, big up yourself, man, for joining. Liverpool up next with McAllister, Soboslai, Endo, and Gravenberch. They bought four midfielders.
Yeah, but you know why I'll give them a low mark? Because
they were not.
Number one, it's not their 6. Number 2, it was none of their initial targets.
I remember at the start of the window, they wanted Lavia, Caicedo, and someone else. And they got none of them. I think. Who was it? Someone else? I can't remember. I reckon it was probably Nkunku. I think that someone said that Chelsea done Liverpool 3 for 3 in this window. It's something like that.
It's crazy.
But Liverpool, they're getting a 6, man. They're getting a 6 because they didn't get a 6.
See, I'll give them a 5.
Bars. It was just bars. There was no other reason. He got a 6 because Fabinho left for 40 million. Milner left for 3. Firmino left for 3. Keita left for 3.
It's a good point there, Jamie. That it's just take the 200 million and do what with it now. It's a bit late.
True.
You know, Rob saying here, Eddie's gonna have a banging season. First will be quality. You guys watch. We're not doubting that. We're not doubting that at all, Rob. But we lack depth and quality.
If you want to see the lack of depth and quality, let me show you this. Let me pull it up again. That's our team, bro. That's our team. That's a lot of red. That's our team. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. After the deadline shuts, we'll open the phone lines and we can all have an argument together if you want. Nate here saying, in the words of Didier Drogba, the easiest way to sum up Crystal Palace transfer window is it's a bleeping disgrace. Cosmo, big up yourself again. Thing is, we've made good signings, we just haven't made enough signings. We need a striker and at least one winger to make it a perfect window. In my opinion, it's only a 6 out of 10. I think you're being generous because I think we need fullbacks as well, but I can't keep singing the same tune because you man gonna think I'm a broken record.
And you know what? Like, I'm not saying the signings we have made haven't been good, but the only attacking signing we made was Francois. And remember, we're trying to. I don't think conceding goals has ever been a problem for us.
It's a problem, but it's not our main problem right now.
The biggest problem we have is scoring. And right now, as this window's about to close in 3.5 minutes, we still have a front three of Edouard, Ayew,
Schlapp.
and Schlapp. Or potentially, if Schlapp gets dropped, Edouard, Mateta, and Ayew. That's our front three.
It's just not it, is it? If no one cooked in this window. Every team apart from us cooked. Let's be real.
Look, what we should have done, slapped the 15 million to Leicester and say, okay, you know what, I know you want 18, but we'll give you as add-ons if need be. And then taking Sinistero loan, what about 2 million loan, 3 million loan, maybe? Less than 20 million. We've covered 2 positions. We're all good.
I don't have to say anything. Just read it. Nothing to say.
It's crazy, but the thing is, we always seem to address the positions we need too late. Look, when last season we were crying out for midfielders, we didn't get them till January,
and we didn't even get like starting quality ones. Did we really? The Congo was dreadful. Hamada needs time.
Yeah.
So we really done nothing in January either.
And you know what? I'm seeing a lot of quotes on Twitter, like from Wisdom's come out and all saying, you know, Roy's statement from earlier saying, we've got the same squad that we've had from last year and this and that. Roy's clearly probably been told to stop calling the board out because he's gone from we need 5 players to we need 3 players to now we've got the same squad as we had last year.
Minus not good enough. We've got a few more. Rihanna's just told me that Rob Holding's been made official. I'm just double checking that.
Cool.
Yeah, Rob Holding is official. What the hell? They spent all their time bloody recording an announcement video. He's in London. He's in. What is that? Oxford Circus?
Yeah.
What's he doing, man? Oh,
oh my gosh!
Is that what we're actually spending our time doing? We're making him hand out newspapers in London, bruv.
You're
just
joking.
Just do a picture with him doing his signature, man. It's not a good day. It's not a good day. It's not a good day.
Oh, War Club is a joke.
We are finished. We are finished. Oh, well, guys, it's the last 20 seconds of the transfer window. This stream is hella salty, I have to say. But, guys, enjoy this, I guess. That's it. Transfer window is closed. Transfer window is closed. There's the link. I'm going to watch this again. Actually, no, I'm not. That's an L. That's an L.
Someone tweeted what I was just about to say. Spent a whole trip deadline day recording the Holding hand up newspapers. Oh my days. Oh man.
I mean, things can still happen. I remember when the deadline shut a few years ago and I woke up and Batshuayi was our player. So things could still happen if we've submitted that form to give us some extra time to sort out some details. But, mate, if you guys are going to sleep looking for anyone to pop up when we wake up, just know nothing's happening. Chairman, what's up?
Well, what can he say? I mean, I just see Sky just said Holding's confirmed now. I think the problem with Palace is that Parish has all the power. He's also the minority shareholder, isn't he? Which is a ridiculous situation where the people with the money have got less voting strength than Parish has. So if he vetoes it, it doesn't happen. And, obviously he runs the club cautiously, but we've been looking for a right back for 5 years, haven't we? We've been looking for a striker probably before Edouard, isn't it? So they're just not picking the right people at the right time. As I said, Henderson, I think long term probably be a good buy. But if you've got 20 minutes to spend, why are you spending it on another goalkeeper? So you've got 2 number 1 goalkeepers. One's going to be unhappy, isn't they? So why not buy a left winger? Why not buy a striker? While we're looking at these players with half an hour to go, we've had 3 months. But it's a typical Palace window, isn't it?
It's a trash window. Let's call it what it is. It's a trash window.
It is. And what will happen is, when we get to January, we'll have a bit of a panic and have to spend 30, 40 million if we're not doing very well. And that's the problem, isn't it?
I mean, this words can't describe this window. Like, and the sad thing is, they almost spent $50 million by mistake. 20 million on Franco. Was it 20 million on a goaltender? $4.5 million on the worst center back I've ever seen. Talk about a team leader. He's going, yeah, okay. I'd rather have James Tompkins and Rob Holden. Let me make that perfectly clear. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed, man. That's a horrible damn window.
Does Rob Holding play right back, I wonder?
No, he plays centre back. But
Rob Holding doesn't play center back.
Oh, bloody hell. And Mason Greenwood's gone to Gaddafi on a season-long loan.
Well, if you watch La Liga, that's a perfect fit for him.
I don't know why any club signed him.
And Tottenham have just signed Brendan Johnson for Forest.
oh wow,
Yeah,
that's why they got. That's why they got Cho.
Yeah,
and Sangari, yeah, because 45 million.
Oh, Brendan Johnson goes right in that starting lineup.
Yeah.
Honestly, all I'm hoping for is to wake up tomorrow morning and they say the Sinistera deal's off. Sinistera had his medical at Bournemouth. The guy was there talking there. The Sky reporter was outside Bournemouth saying he's finished his medical. So he was never coming to Palace.
I said in another stream that I thought Bournemouth is now better than us, and I got laughed at for it. But if you look at their window, we're not better than them. I don't think. They got Tyler Adams. They're trying to get Daka, right, from Leicester. Did that go through?
No, I fell through.
Well, they got Solanke. He's better than what we got anyway.
Yeah.
I had him
He
finishing
told
15th
Wan-Bissaka and
this
told Klein it was like a new signing.
Crazy. Sorry, I don't know if it's Patrick or Chairman, but they might have a bit of an issue with the audio.
Yeah, I'll turn it off. No worries.
Turn TV. Just turn TV down.
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mate, flight delayed. Missed my train, and Talis are taking a steaming, you know what, on the fan base. Underwhelming window as usual.
Sorry, I had my camera off, guys. I'm getting ready to go out. I just got out of the shower, but I had to get on here for this trash window. It's awful.
It's terrible. And you know what? We got to look at the bigger picture here, guys. Elise stayed, right?
Is that official? Oh, Elise, yeah. I thought you meant Eze. I'm sorry.
Elise stayed. Eze were trying to convince to stay.
That's not happening now.
What are they looking forward to?
Nothing. Really, what are the fans looking forward to now? Because Frank is out for we don't know how long. Elise is out for we still don't know how long. So we're going to be sitting here watching the Eze show for what? Until Christmas? I don't know.
If you're a young player, seriously, if you ever come to Palace, you best not sign a long-term deal, or they'll do what they did to Zaha, and by the time they let him go, he's over the hill and washed up. I mean, I hope I'm wrong about Wilf, but I mean, why would you? I hope if Eze does stay, I hope he has a manageable release clause, because he has everything. The power is in his hands. Have a good year and get out of Dodge, and get with a team with real ownership.
Can I just say one thing that's going to make all our days a lot worse? AFCON is going to kill us.
Oh yeah, that's the depth right there.
AFCON is going to absolutely kill us if we don't do anything in January.
Can we block those players from going? I mean, we might have to.
But it's not going to end well. They're not going to play for us anymore if we block them.
Well, then we're screwed either way. We're in a relegation battle now. Then and I don't think that's overreaction. We were already linked with a clump of teams. I think Forest is better because they have better front players. They signed a couple of deep defenders today. Bournemouth, I think, is marginally better. Wolves, Everton. I mean, we're in that glump. I mean, we're better than the top that came up from the championship. But I don't want to be a fan of a 17th place club. Do you? I mean, that's a joke.
Be used to it.
Well, no, I mean, no. We haven't now. Let's be honest. Under Roy, that hasn't been the case, but we're gonna have to get used to it, unless the people that actually go, like I'm in the States, so I know I'm not. I put a comment on there. I'm not condoning this, but I was just mad when I put it on there.
Gosh, Mike Tresser's gone to Burnley as well.
Yeah,
Who?
Has, yeah, Mike Tresser from Genk on loan,
God.
and Brendan Johnson was 47.5 million in the end. We wouldn't. Oh, yeah, Mike Tresser to Burnley.
Mike Tresser came out and said,
Van Palace.
We're not an attractive side. We don't play forward football. I mean, he's clearly wrong on the right, because I think we play decent football on the right. But that just showed like us.
Put it this way: if we had Vieira, he'd come to us.
Yeah, it's literally that. Yeah,
but Vieira had to go. Vieira had to go. We're not gonna talk about anything about that. But yeah, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to come on and have your say, then
yeah. Patrick, I will say though, Rob Holding is better than Tompkins. I will say that.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, that's just fine. Yeah,
I just to me that signing made no sense. I get okay, so if one of the top two go down, you think Roy's going to go to Rob Holding probably instead of Richards. And I think Richards is the best of the bunch. He is out of those three by far.
I think Richards has gone down to fifth choice centre back.
I agree with you because sadly.
LVG's gone as well.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
Yeah, but you know what though? He got mad at the club for something. There's more to that story. It's easier when somebody's bashing a club that you like. It's easy to get on that player until there's two sides to every story. I mean, let's look at it. Let's be real. I mean, they could have spent $2 on a backup that was decent, or instead $20 million on a goaltender that could have gone to a striker. And then they negotiated a deal. How do you negotiate with a striker that's under contract with another team and you don't even negotiate with PSG? Like, how does that even make sense? How do you do that?
It's so funny because we called out Chelsea for trying to tap up Elise.
And now we're doing that for Epic. Oh, man. We are the most hypocritical club in the world.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, look, before I'm going to go in a couple minutes, but I don't condone what West Ham's fans did to their ownership a few years ago, but the crap was effective because that ownership spent money ever since. Now, I'm not saying 25,000 people should be going after Steve Parrish and throwing them through a wall, but kindly give your opinion might help a little bit because he goes to the games. I mean, that's the point where we're at, but I don't think we'll ever do that. There's a segment of the fan base that will always think Parrish is perfect and right because he saved the club. Always.
Bradley, I've been seeing your comments. You are a menace, by the way.
Say what?
No, Bradley in the comments. He's a menace. Okay. Oh, man.
Oh, Patrick's gone. I guess he's getting ready to go.
Can't take any more, can he?
Oh,
on Sky Sports, they just had the woman go back to Palace again with breaking news, and all it was Rob Holding, and Paris said what an exciting signing it is, and he's going to give us great versatility in the back. That's it. Really?
I don't care. We're excited because we're getting Arsenal's leftovers.
That's right. Well, yeah.
I mean, I spoke to my manager James earlier, and I said that it looks like we're getting Rob Holding, and he said he's not good enough for you.
Sorry about that, y'all.
You know how Arsenal fans are as well. Like they think like their players are out of this world. Even if he thinks he's dreadful, yeah, he's got tapped.
Where do we go from here? Like, I've lowered my expectation.
We try and survive. That's all we can do.
11 to 15th every year and get excited. And I'm glad Roy's back because I'm a big Roy's fan. But you're asking him to do a lot now. I mean, he'll keep us up. The spine of the team will do that. But I don't know.
You know, I'm just gonna say it now, and I don't care if I get like pelters for it. I want to see our front three now. Edward on the left, Ayu up top, and Jez on the right until Elise and Francois are fit.
I agree with 2 of the 3. I don't agree with Jez.
Yeah, he's not ready. That game
He's not
against
he's not anywhere near ready.
I think what I'd rather is Eddie on the left, JP up front, and I on the right. That's probably the best forward line we can fit at this moment in time.
I do a 4-4-2. Eze on the left, IU on the right. The two strikers up top, and kind of go from there.
Tim, how's it going? What do you think about all of this?
Well, I mean, I was in the other stream with Patrick. I know where Patrick is on this. I'm not as upset about it, but I'm disappointed. I mean, I don't think our strikers are good enough. I mean, this is a hard one because I agree with people who say that it would be better if we figured out this ownership structure and we did move faster on some signings. That being said, I don't think this is a disastrous window.
Tim, we signed Rob Holding. Now let that sink through a couple minutes.
No, look, man, you're not going to get me to, not that you would. I don't think you're trying to get me to do this, Patrick, but it's not that I am thrilled that we are getting Rob Holding. I'm definitely not. And just because a signing isn't very much money, that does not make it a great signing. I'm not saying it's a terrible signing either, because I think Tompkins is going to go, and I think as a fourth choice center back, he's probably fine. I would prefer to see Richards as first choice off the bench, but I mean, that's not my call. So I think it's okay, but where we're at, and this is, bear in mind that I am coming at this almost entirely from a financial perspective, because I've looked at John Textor for a while, and I don't have a huge amount of trust in John Textor. It doesn't mean that I don't think that his intentions are good, but I do want to remind people about who this guy is. He is not a billionaire. He is struggling to get money in order to put more into his teams. He sold out of Fubo TV here in the States at the top. That seems to be where a good chunk of his fortune came from. And then in addition to that, he's now trying to work a deal with a SPAC that's based in London, where he can take Eagle Football public, or what seems more likely is he's going to take Lyon public off of the French exchange and put him on the New York Stock Exchange. Either way, he's trying to engineer some additional funds. He's a financier, and he hasn't proven to me yet that he knows what he's doing. I like that he's got ambition, and I think his plans and the way he thinks about players is pretty interesting. And I would like him to have a say. There's no chance I would want him to be in control of this club. So I do think there is an ownership structure issue that probably limits us in transfer windows like this one. Having said that, we don't know what France is going to bring. I think Lerma is one of the underrated signings of the season. He's been absolutely brilliant and helped us out immensely in the midfield. Henderson is good business, but he doesn't fill a gap. And so I can't give it more than a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10, or here in the States, like on a report card, I'd give it a C. Like, you didn't address either of the fullbacks, and you didn't address the forward players, and those were critical areas. but Henderson is good business. I mean, on a long-term deal, that gives Whitworth and Goodman time. That gives both of them time. And so we've got 2 good goalkeepers, and you've got a pathway for one of them to come through. And in the meantime, you're set there for a while. And I don't think we would have done it if it, I mean, I think Vinny kind of screwed us. I don't think we would have done it if Vinny had not thrown the fit that he did. And then you've got 20 million that maybe you could get to a striker. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not feeling desperate about it, but I'm sure not feeling great about it either.
Ali, what's your thoughts on the whole transfer window then?
It's like going into Marks and Spencer's to buy your dinner and coming out with some Percy pigs. Like,
Hey, Percy pigs are decent.
Yeah, but we haven't got what we actually need.
You went in there for a steak dinner.
I mean, we haven't actually got what we needed on the shopping list. Like, it's just, I mean, like, listen, we've lost Wilfred Zaha, probably arguably our best ever player, contributed most of the goals in previous seasons apart from last, and we've bought a goalkeeper for 20 million. And Rob Holding, and they're both, Henderson and Holding are both good players. They're both good signings, but we've not strengthened in the areas that we need to, which is obvious. The defence of the board is, I think, that when we do bring players in, they are of really good quality now. They add to our squad. Gahey, Anderson, Decore, even Lerma, the list goes on. Even, and I don't know actually, has this PSG guy gone through? Or do we know?
No. But Clinton Morrison's doing some stupidness where he's saying, I just got a text. Something's happening at Palace.
To be honest, even if he goes through, I am not that bothered. Because we have the sort of unproven raw player in Francois. We needed somebody substantial with a record behind them, like Iniacho or Sinistera. If we're going to be really, really serious, and there could be strong arguments that we needed both of those, not just one.
We could have had Emmanuel Dennis for $5. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if we'd got, for me, that one of those two is what we needed. I think the plan is that when Elise comes back, we play Ayew on the left and Elise on the right, which I don't have an issue with because Ayew started the season well and I liked him on the left during the season. But if we get injuries, we're screwed. We are absolutely screwed. Because you've got the backup on the left-hand side is Francois, who's unproven at this level, or Schlupp. And up front, it's Eduardo Mateta. And if we're serious about progressing to the top 10, which is what Roy said when he rejoined, is the stated intent, that's not going to happen with those options. And it's definitely not going to happen with the fullbacks we have. I mean, it's so bad that I am praying that Rob Holding is some sort of right back that is at least better than Joel Ward on that right side. Listen.
No, so I've just seen something that said, to put into perspective how bad Rob Holding is, he's worth more on fantasy than we actually bought him for.
Yeah, no.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
I've no issues with signing Henderson and Holding. I think Holding for that fee, it makes sense. He's a better backup than Tompkins. Yeah. Should never renew Tompkins in the first place. Although I worry, like Richard said, that Richards might go out on loan or something to another club where the deadlines hasn't passed. And also, I mean, Henderson, I think I did a poll and 66% believe by the end of the year he'll be number one. I think he will be. I think if I'm Sam Johnston, I know Henderson said they're mates. I'm not happy because I just think their signing him shows a bit of a lack of. There's something they think Henderson has that Johnston doesn't, and I think he will be number one by the end of the season. And it's a good buy, but it's not what we need, is it? Going back to my original point, we've not got what we needed on the shopping list. It is frustrating because I think we were one or two players away from having a real go this season, but I don't think we've got those players.
Yeah, and I want to bring it back to this comment here from Binge. Hold on, where's it? And look, listen, the signings we have brought in, I'm not mad at them. It's given us added depth, which we lack, and some good experience and some good competition for places at times. But the issue, what I personally have anyway, I'm not going to speak for everyone else, is just we didn't address the areas we needed to. In order for us to become a top 10 side, and then in future, obviously, push for Europe, we need a striker who's going to get us 10 to 15 goals. Now, granted, Eddie and Mateta at various times have had moments. The Premier League is ruthless. We can't live on moments. We need consistency. And that's what we're lacking up front. To the point where even towards the back end of last season, Ayew played up top because Eddie was out of form, lack of confidence. Mateta, we all thought Mateta's out the door. You know? And to let someone like Iheanacho slip from our fingers, personally for me, is criminal. The only thing I'm hoping for, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed, is the fact that he's a free transfer next season. That's the...
I don't think that. I think they're rich. I think like Dougie is thorough. And we've obviously got money to spend, and we showed that by spending it on Henderson. I'm not sure that they were 100% convinced on either Sinisterra or Iheanacho. I think, like, to be fair, when they really want a player, they gun them down. But like, maybe they're not wholly sold on it.
Well, Dan, I think that says it all right there, doesn't it? That says it all right there. Iheanacho's got a good track record when he's played. Sinisterra is a good player. He passes the eye test. That says it all.
I would have signed one of those two. I agree with you, Rich. I think it's frustrating. There's an argument that we needed to sign both. But one of the two...
No, wait, I don't know how true this is, so I've just gone on Twitter. So LCFC leaks, so this is to do with Leicester. In the last hour before the deadline, Palace submitted a 17 million bid, including add-ons for an Iheanacho, which was rejected by Leicester. Don't know how true that is.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit.
No, it's rubbish.
No way.
It is so frustrating though, because I think either one of those two players, Sinisterra or Iheanacho, and I think we were good to go.
Yeah, we just needed one.
Just one of them. And maybe they're not. I think sometimes they try to be too perfect. Parrish said in that podcast he was on, trying to remember the name of it.
The High Performance Podcast?
That's the one. He says that when he recruits, he really has to recruit someone who has to be fantastic. He doesn't just want to recruit for the sake of it. You can tell that with a manager situation when he went back to Roy. There was clearly someone he didn't think would be fantastic for Palace in the summer. It's like, I feel like, and I think Dougie's very thorough as well, to be fair. I feel like they're aiming almost for the perfect fit. But like you said, Rich, 10 to 15 goals. And Iheanacho, I think, could have delivered that. And Sinisterra's got 90 goals in his career. Like, one of those two.
Here's why I feel one of the two. Let's just say we got the striker in.
Yeah.
Then we know we've got someone who, like you said, we're looking at 10 to 15 goals. But even if we got the winger in, because both Edward and JP, as long as they're in the box, they're decent finishers. I mean, Mateta has to be instinctive, where Edward has got a bit more guile to him. But if they just have to focus on being in the box, they will score goals. The problem is we can't create enough because we're so one-dimensional. And that's why one of the two, either striker or winger, was so key, especially after losing Wilf by...
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not even bothered if this goes through because it's the same kind of fit as Francois. It's another young... He might be fantastic and rip it up. I hope he does. If we did by some miracle now got him, but it's the same remit as Francois. It's a young up and coming player. but not proven at Premier League level.
So Sinistera is just signed for Bournemouth on a year's loan from Leeds.
I mean, if they can do that deal, why couldn't we do that deal?
Exactly. Alex Iwobi's just gone to Fulham on loan for a year, and Malpai has just gone to Brentford on loan for a year. So if he was a Leeds Everton fan now, you'd be even more pissed off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Once again, we didn't utilize our loans.
No.
Yeah. Well, we tried to get this PSG kid, Eddie TK, on loan. But one thing that I think I do agree that we're trying to be is either perfect or careful. And there's this fine balance. And the sympathy I have for the recruiting team and the ownership on this because of it is we have a much lower, in fact, you could argue that we have the lowest margin of error in the league to get a signing really wrong, like a big signing really wrong. So for us, for a striker, if we're going to go out 30, 40 million pounds, it's got to be solid, because if we get it wrong,
I agree.
We don't have the commercial revenue, we don't have the match day revenue to make that right, and so we end up with FFP problems. The cascading effect for us is worse. Now that goes away. When that goes away is when we get to becoming the thing that we've said we were going to do that we've not done, which has become a selling club.
Oh,
right?
Stop. It's because you're right.
So, like it's a bit of a catch-22, but yeah, I mean, I do think we're too careful. And we are, I mean, we just don't, live streaming and flying a 747 at the same time. Okay. Nice. I like it. But you know what I mean? Like it has to be, we have to be more careful than most, which is frustrating, right? It is completely frustrating. It would have been, I was with Patrick on, I wanted Emmanuel Dennis. And I think we could have got him if they didn't sell Brennan Johnson. I think with Johnson gone, I don't think Forrest was ever going to sell Brennan Johnson, Patrick. But I mean,
they brought in Hudson Odoi for $1.50.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
3 million pounds, right? 3 million pounds.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is frustrating.
There's no, you can't defend it. There's no defending it. You can't. Like this window, there was a guy Leeds had, Rodrigo. He had an out clause, 3.5 million pounds, scored 13 goals last year.
Right.
7 the year before. He's at what, Real Sociedad, I think he went to, playing in the Champions. But I mean, you could have had him. He's a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't defend it. So I really am going to back Roy all the way because
that's something we definitely have to do. Yeah,
absolutely.
This window, so remember the window they got Batshuayi the first time, and he scored a bunch of goals, and we finished 12th, but we had our most wins in a Premier League season, most points, 49. And then what was it? The summer they sold Wan-Bissaka, and I think that's the window they brought in IU, but they didn't replace Batshuayi, who was in good form. They didn't place Wan-Bissaka. We overachieved. I think we were 9th before COVID hit, and then it tanked. That's the kind of year I think we're going to have, which sucks.
Do you know what starting? I'm really interested now, though, Rich, is does anyone know, or I'm interested to find out what the loan fee was for Sinistera?
Yeah, that's what I'm
because, like, for me, that was the deal that makes sense today on reflection. Like, if we could have got him on a year's loan, I'm sure the loan fee wouldn't have been too extravagant.
Yeah.
The wages.
They said a player.
We were going to offer 200k to Saha. I know we've given Elise an increase. that deal for me was the one that fits without breaking the bank. And he's gone to Bournemouth, which makes it even more frustrating. You can absolutely guarantee that he will score against us.
That would be typical Palace, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. I think the other thing we did was burn our bridges with Chelsea. I'm glad we have, I mean, because we kept Elise, but I think obviously Lewis Hall, Hudson-Odoi, never going to happen after that, after all the confrontation around that.
With Chelsea, yeah.
But Hudson-Odoi has gone for 3 million.
3 million.
Yeah.
I thought it was 8, I must admit.
I wonder what is, I mean, if Chelsea eats some of those wages. Because that, I mean, if there really is no reason for us to not go in for him except for the Chelsea relationship and because of the wages. Like he was on 100K a week, wasn't he?
More than that.
Yeah, the wages, I think, from what I hear on Hudson-Odoi, the thing that put us off initially was the wages.
Yeah.
And then I also just think that us and Chelsea
are
not in a good place.
Right.
But
we didn't get our annual Chelsea loan.
No,
so I think that says it all.
The wages put them off, but they were gonna offer Will $200,000 a week. Now think about it.
There's a different caliber of player between Hudson-Odoi and Zaha. I think
think
that
Zaha
argument. Or Zaha isn't worth 200K, but I can tell you 100% that Hudson-Odoi is nowhere near even 100K.
What is he making? 150, 125?
I think he's on 150, 160 right
he is
now,
on the low wages, to be
and
fair.
he don't want no pay cut. We can't afford that.
No, Forrest. I'm sorry, he's not making that at Forrest.
He probably is. They paid Lingard 200,000 a week last season.
Lingard is a free agent.
He's training with West Ham.
Yeah, he's rubbish anyway.
Yeah, I think he'll go back to West Ham.
I'm just saying the desperation kicking in now.
He wouldn't fit in anyway.
Nah, I wouldn't go for him. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just.
Sorry,
would you under any, just thinking about this, so now we're stuck with Eddie and JP. Do you play those two up top together and you play Ayew and Eze?
I do.
Yeah, you do. I mean, just because
Eddie.
Why not?
I mean, Eddie was playing in a 2 at Celtic. So do you give that a shot?
Eddie's best moments for us has either been in a 2 or on the wing, with his face facing the net. Playing the ball on his feet.
Drives the players. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So why not try it?
Yeah.
As long as you put Shelp on the bench, everybody's favorite player. Wow, I expected more of a laughter out of that.
So Sky just reporting that the bloke from PSG wanted to come to Palace on loan. PSG stopped the loan because Eintracht Frankfurt offered 30 million euros for him. So they stopped the loan to Palace, and then the move to Frankfurt fell through as well. So he was stuck at PSG now.
Palace negotiated behind their back.
Yes, right. The other thing, Clinton Morrison is just saying on there now that he can't understand why we bought Holding at all. He said, "I don't get it at all. He's not going to play.
Right.
He's probably going to be fourth choice centre half. He doesn't get it. What he's a squad player. That's it. That's all he bought, but he doesn't understand why Palace bought him."
I think for the money we spent for a squad signing, it don't really bother me. If we spent like 10 million on him, then you'd be sitting here going, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
But for them, he's better than Tompkins, isn't he? So
absolutely.
Yeah.
We bought Scott Dan, guys. We bought Scott Dan. If he ends up being as good as Dan, then okay.
I mean, Dan was brilliant.
I do feel a lot better about the Holding deal now that I know it's 1 million. Yeah. Like, I do feel better about it.
I just don't rate the player. I just don't rate the player. That's me. Sorry.
No, I don't either. I mean, but I think it's an upgrade on Tompkins, so I'll certainly take it. I mean, can we go back to something you said earlier that there's word that Richards is going out on loan? Is that real? And if
Can't be, it's
so,
closed.
why?
Yeah, the window's over, so there's no more loans. It's only free transfers from now.
Well, no, he can go on loan to Saudi Arabia because their window doesn't close until the 7th of September.
Yeah.
So he can go out, but you can bring nobody in.
Why on earth would we want to send Richards out on loan? That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Do you know what's annoying me as well is, like, you talk about money and the money that would Sinistera would have cost. Now we've got Holding, that's cover for right back, yeah. Richards can cover right back. Holding can cover centre back. Did we need to renew Klein and Tompkins? You take two of those wages out. I know it's probably not loads and loads, but
it's meaningful.
It's meaningful. Then you can invest it into something like Sinistera. I there's quite a few things in this window that just are illogical.
You spent what, $4 million on Holding, but you had O'Brien that you sold for $1 million. He was younger, and he would have been the fourth.
And sold him to Lyon. Sold him to Texter.
So if you're trying, one of the excuses he tried when he signed Elise, got lucky with that, and Paris said, we're gonna make a pathway for the youngsters. Is the pathway to Paris or Lyon, whatever part of France that's in?
So apparently, O'Brien refused to sign a new deal.
Well, more power to him. Best thing he could have ever done.
I've got to go, chaps. I've got a gap in the morning. So have a good chat.
I'm gonna.
Catch you
It's
later.
a good time to end it, actually.
I think we're gonna go.
It's a hard one. But I don't think I don't think it's a disaster. It's a hard one. But I mean, here's hoping.
Well, as we're rounding it up, I did put a poll in chat 15 minutes ago, and it's got 15 votes. And I said, "Is this a disappointing window?" And 53% said yes, and 47% said no. So it's actually a very close vote.
Yeah, I don't think it's disastrous.
Yeah, I don't either.
That, like, Lerma, Henderson, great. I just think I said it on Twitter yesterday. Or X. It just needed one of the two today. It needed either Sinistera or Iniesta, and it's just frustrating because I don't understand why we didn't go for the Sinistera deal. It's even more frustrating now Bournemouth have got him.
Yes. If he had stayed at Leeds, fair enough. I would have been able to deal with that. But
yeah, but boys, silver lining. Should look in the false nine.
Go away.
He'd be better there than at left wing. I have to say.
There's not a lot of things that make me speechless, but that comment's one of them.
On the way back from Sheffield on the train, I sat next to a Leicester fan, and he was telling me that when he first joined Leicester, he was playing as a striker. And I said to him the stick I got for suggesting it, and he was like, "No, that he can play there."
Well, he'll be better, like they used to say, he'll be better than left wing.
Yeah, he's been awful.
He's been so bad. Guys, have a lovely evening. That rounds up transfer deadline day. Rob Holding was the late signing.
We stayed up to midnight for Rob Holding. I'm going to bed, man.
6:40 US time. You guys have a good one.
4:40 here in the mountains.
Oh man. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. See you later.
Hope you enjoyed, man. In a bit. We're not even doing we're not doing it today. Goodbye.